Hello there. You're welcome once more in this process where we're discussing the success mindset. Previously, we looked at what a successful mindset is, and we looked at what a person with a success mindset would be doing or how they would live. Today, I hope you're discussing principles around the success mindset, but I want to go further and look at the success mindset shift. When we are growing up as children, as we saw earlier, we were taught things by our parents and then by our teachers and then society. So our parents taught us certain things that gave us certain beliefs. And it is those beliefs that determine more or less what we do, how we do things, and indeed our success mindset. Then we went to school and our teachers said, no, you can't do this. No, you can't copy. No, you can't look at somebody's work. No, you can't. You can't. You can't. And so we grew up with the whole idea of no, you can't, hence having limiting beliefs. And those limiting beliefs, they stop us from succeeding. Those limiting beliefs, they stop a success mindset. And therefore, to build a success mindset, you need empowering beliefs. And I've been on this journey for a long time. I personally, like you, when I was growing up, I had so many limiting beliefs. And maybe, hopefully, we shall look at some limiting beliefs briefly later on. But I have overcome these by studying really well, looking at this subject, and I'm speaking from this subject, speaking on this subject from deep knowledge. I am the author of the book, The Success Mindset, Eliminating Self-Doubt. And most of the principles that I'm talking about, they are right in this book. Maybe you might have a chance later on to have a copy, but I know it's pretty difficult to send a copy to you, specifically wherever you are. But of course, there's a possibility of having an electronic copy, which you might also have. So today, let's look at success mindset shift. How do you then shift your mindset to a success mindset if, when you were growing up, you had these limiting beliefs? How do you become successful when you have been taught that you cannot be successful? How can you shift your mindset from limiting yourself to just the things that are around you to actually believing and doing things that are far away from you, like the innovations you're having now? How can you decide and keep the principles that will lead you to succeed? Here are a couple of ways you can do that. The first thing is determination and persistence. You know, you've got to be determined that you want to change. Here is something which I want you to write down. Our thoughts are the determinants of everything that we become. Our thoughts are the determinants of everything that we become. And there is something called a manifestation process. How do we become? How do we do things that we do? Here it is. Our thoughts, write this down, our thoughts lead to our feelings. Our feelings lead to our emotions. Our emotions lead to our actions. And our actions lead to results. So every result you have is the consequence of your thought. And therefore, if you are determined in thought that things will happen, they will happen. If you are persistent that something will happen, it will happen. Think about this. If you go and plant your wheat, for example, and you are determined that it will grow, it will grow. You will water it, you will weed it, you will look after it, you will send away the birds, you would do everything that you need to do in order to get that wheat to grow and to yield fruit. You know, you've got to face challenges when they come. Sometimes, when challenges come, people run away from the challenges. No, face the challenges. Be determined that when challenges come, You will face them, that you're not going to run away. When setbacks come, when the weather is bad, when the weather is good, when there's too much sunshine, when there is little sunshine, when it's a country Sunday, or you are determined that you will do something about it. And even when you are uncertain whether this thing is going to work or not, whether this wheat is going to grow or not, whether this corn you are growing is going to yield fruit or not. Even in those circumstances, somebody with a success mindset becomes and remains determined and certain and persistent in taking actions to make it happen. So that's the first step in shifting our mindsets, being determined and persistent. The second thing that you need to do in order to shift this mindset from a limiting mindset to a success mindset is adaptability and willingness to embrace change. Well, look, when I was growing up as a child, most of what we grew was potatoes, corn, and beans. But now, people are attempting to grow apples, people are attempting to grow wheat, people are attempting to grow quinoa, people are attempting to grow so many other things that when I was a child, I didn't know. Adaptability, because we are able to see what other people are doing in the world. Somebody who has a success mindset would adapt. They will not insist on only growing corn, but they will try and grow wheat. They will not insist on only growing potatoes, but they will grow potatoes and do something with their potatoes. They will not insist on only buying flour that has been processed by somebody else, but they will try to grow the things that will give them the flour. Adaptability and willingness to change. Sometimes change is difficult, and we've got to accept that. It's not easy to embrace change. People will talk about you, people will criticize you, people will think you're mad. But someday you look back and you say, yes, thank God I was mad. Thank God I was able to change my mind. Thank God I was willing to try new things. Thank God I was willing to explore new technologies, new agricultural products, new ways of growing crops. And then technology is come. Are you sitting there and, not thinking about how artificial intelligence might influence even what you do now? You've got to be adaptable to think and know that someday we may not even have this agriculture the way it is. We might sit in our house and press a button and a machine is going to do everything for us. Who knows? You've got to be able to also be willing to improve the products you have. Oh my goodness. When I was growing up and I used to go and visit my grandma, and she had a special type of corn. We used to cultivate the corn with very big seeds, mostly for fufu corn. But my grandma had a special corn which she only used it for frying, and it was better than popcorn. And I think back and I think, oh wow, she was very clever, just like many people of her generation, they were. So new products are going to come up, and technologies are going to come. Are you willing to change? Are you adaptable? That is the second thing that can help you to shift your mindset. The third thing is continuous learning and skill development. I hope, by the way, before hoping, I want to congratulate you for being here, for taking the time to study this course, for going through the processes of looking at how you do what you do. And in the process of it, you are changing your mindset. You are improving your mindset. And hopefully you will transform yourself and transform others. So the third thing is continuous learning and development of skills. Hopefully you're going to develop some skills from here. I have no doubt about it. But that should not be the end. I'd like you to embark on something called research. Don't only take what I say. And by the way, don't believe what I say. Try it yourself. And when it works, then you say, now I know. Embark in research. Find out a little bit more about these crops that you are cultivating. Find out a little bit more. Read books. There is so much that has been written. Read, find out, test, try out new things, and come up with results. If they fail, thank your God and say, oh, now I know different ways of not doing the same thing and getting this result. And finally, when you get a proper result, you say, now I know what works from what does not work. Seek knowledge endlessly. I implore you, I've got another book coming soon, which I might be able to show you. This is another book which I've just written. It's about property investment, but that doesn't concern you now, but maybe someday you might want to. I'm showing you this not to be proud, but just to impress on you that learning is good. To change your mindset, you need to constantly learn, to be willing to develop yourself. I learn from everybody every single day. And I want you to be the same. That is the mark of somebody who has a success mindset. And that is how you shift your mindset. The things that you knew when you were little are not the same things that you will know when you are older. To grow faster, you need to learn even faster so that your mind can grow faster and you can innovate and change and improve and succeed even faster. The fourth thing is to set goals and plan ahead of time. Look, I think we mentioned this in the principles that successful people set goals. But what type of goals? Goals that are smart, and SMART stands for specific. When you want to set goals about your yield of your products or produce, say, look, next year I want to have 2 tins of wheat. Next year I want to have 5 bags of maize. Next year I want to harvest 100 kilograms of A, B, C, or this type of wheat or maize. Set that. That is specific. But then also make it measurable. You heard what I said. I gave you the time, but I gave you a measure. 10 bags, 10 kilos, 1 tin. And it should also be achievable. Set achievable goals. Don't say I'm going to, produce 100 tons of wheat next year when you just have less than a hectare of land to cultivate the wheat. Definitely it's not going to happen. So it must be achievable, something that you can actually achieve. It's good to set a goal that you can achieve and achieve it than a goal that you may not achieve and then don't achieve it. Les Brown, one of my mentors, says if you shoot for the skies, you might just land on the moon. And then the goals should be realistic. Don't set goals that are not realistic. Don't say you're going to buy 100 hectares of land when you don't even have the money to do so, because you're setting yourself to fail. And achieving these goals that are SMART, that means specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic, takes planning. You got to plan ahead. Every day, I sit down and I write my goals. I have a journal and I write my goals every night for the next day. You can see, and I have them in boxes. And at the end of the night, like after this, I will sit down and I will go through goals for today. Did I achieve what I said I will achieve today? And if I don't, then I make sure that I do it tomorrow. By setting these goals, by planning and setting the goals and ticking and evaluating them, I can then see whether I'm succeeding or not. This is how you shift your mindset from a limiting beliefs mindset to a successful mindset, to an empowering mindset. Let me give you one more strategy. Financial literacy and risk management. I cannot believe how much the world protects us from not learning about money, and yet everything we do every day centers around money. So you, as a success mindset student, need to have financial literacy. You need to learn about money, how money gets made, how money gets managed, and how money gets used. You got to think about, when I make £1,000 or dollars or euros or pounds, how do I divide that money? How much of it do I invest back into the produce? How much do I pay myself? And how much do I save for future investment? I think someday we might look at how you can do this properly, but generally speaking, you need to plan. You need to also know how to analyze your financial situation. What is your financial situation? If I asked you now, what is your financial situation? Are you able to tell me? Are you able to tell me how much money comes into your hands every month? How much of that money you use? And how much of that money is left at the end of the month? Are you able to tell me how much money you have altogether? And therefore, how much money you might invest in this journey? You also could think about risk mitigation and strategies for mitigating the risks. It's all that comes in with financial literacy. But also insurance. This is something that people don't really think about. But have you got an insurance? What if you plant that wheat and the wind comes and destroys all of it? What if you harvest the wheat and insects come and eat all of it? Have you insured it? Now, maybe you can say, oh, well, but there are no insurance companies to insure my wheat. Oh, thank God there are no insurance companies. What would somebody with a financial mindset do? They will start the insurance company. Group people together and start your own insurance company and pay into it bit by bit. And then you will safeguard your crops, you will safeguard your produce, you will safeguard, you know, some natural disasters that might come and destroy the things that you've worked hard for. Did I say that was the last? Let me just give you another one. Let me give you one more point that you can use in shifting your mindset. And this is specific to education, education, education about farming. Listen, gentlemen, again, when I was growing up, I knew only two tools, a hoe and a machetes. That was it. But I bet you I know so many tools now that I can use for farming. Educate yourself. Don't kill yourself by bending all the time to work, to till the ground. Find out what machines are there. Even if you say, okay, I can't afford to buy the machines, put yourselves together, create a cooperative, and buy those things as a cooperation. Use them as a cooperative. Monitor what you do. Educate yourself on these little things. And before you know, you would have shifted your mindset from a limiting beliefs mindset, from an unsuccessful mindset, to an empowering mindset, to a successful mindset. I hope you're learning and I wish you well. And I'd like you to give a hand of applause to the people who are helping you throughout this course, because at the end of the day, they are sharing only what they have learned. Stay blessed, and I shall see you in our next video.